Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's stream. So we've got the final round, which is round 10 of the multi-class European Super Series here at oNiD Racing. And tonight we have two championships up for grabs. Two are already sealed. The two up for grabs are GT3 Pro and the Porsche Cup class. Alex Parkin has already won GT3 AM, and Martin Thorpe has already won GT4. So as you can see on screen, we're now doing some cinematic shots of Nurburgring. The race tonight is a night race, although the pictures are in the daytime, and the race is 90 minutes, 2 mandatory pit stops with mandatory fuel that the drivers will need to take on board, no driver swaps as earlier in the series, and no mandatory tyre change either. So in a few minutes we'll go into qualifying, and if I remember correctly, we'll be going with GT4s first, then Porsche Cup cars, and then GT3 AM and Pro qualify at the same time. So the session is 30 minutes long. The GT4s get the first 10 minutes just to themselves, and then the Porsche Cup cars get from 10 minutes to 20 minutes into the session, and then the GT3 cars go out altogether, as I've said before, and they get the final 10 minutes. So in GT4, we'll be probably looking at Martin Thorpe, William Black or Ben Brown being somewhere near the front in qualifying. As I said before, the championship is already sealed up for GT4, but there could be a fight for second and possibly second, third and fourth, maybe even fifth, as I believe this is a double points round. So anyone could take any one of William Black, Ben Brown, Vladimir Burek or Johnny Ashley, I believe, could take second in the championship, depending on how things go. Then we'll have the Porsche Cup out next, which Alex Shahabi and Luke Southall are within 9 points of each other at the top of the championship. So could go either way. And then GT3 AM is already sealed up by Alex Parkin. There's a few other positions within the championship that could change. But with GT3 Pro, we've got 5 points splitting Dave Selecki and Javier Marquez in first and second. And then you've got a few points further back, but depending on how things go, you've got Grant Eckett and William McCone, joint third place. So either one of them could move up as well. So what we'll do now is we will go to qualifying shortly. And I believe the GT4 cars are already out on track. And we should be seeing live pictures now. So we're currently on board with Thomas Stocks. Oh no, it's it. We've still got a minute and 24 left of practice, so we'll stay with this now. Watching a few of the cars go around. We've got Thomas in the oNiD Racing liveried BMW GT4. Going around the first couple of corners. Into the tight left-right section. Very, very easy to understeer out of the right on this curve on the outside and get a track warning. I'm very safe there. So at the moment, in practice, we've got Jimmy, who's 4th overall in the championship, currently fast in practice, in what looks to be the blue and yellow liveried Aston Martin Vantage GT3. In the Pro category, come around to complete another lap. Now on the timing board, you can see that it's got the fastest lap. Now the numbers in the right won't make a lot of sense now, but once we go into qualifying, the numbers on the right will show on the current lap that they are on how much they're either up if it's green or down if it's red, grey. They're neither up nor down. So we're just waiting for the session to roll through to qualifying. So while it does that, we'll go back to the track pan. You can see turn 1 there. Hopefully we don't have any incidents going into turn 1. I'm sure the drivers would love to have conditions like this rather than a nighttime race. We've got around 50 seconds before we go into qualifying, looking at the final chicane. Aerial view of the track and then back round again. We don't want any of those noises. Make sure I mute that. Let's have a look. Have a look what's going on in the chat. Cammy saying, what sim is this? The track looks so narrow for Nurburgring. Yeah, I believe it is the camera angle. So we should be switching over to qualifying shortly. And now we're in qualifying. See, the GT4s are now on their out laps. We are following William Black in his livery inspired by the Irish flag, I believe. So drivers are about halfway around the track. So we've got Jimbo and Nancy saying, look at them graphics, sweet. They do look good. So we'll get up the track map so we can see where the cars are currently on track. We'll see where Johnny is on track in his Ginetta, which he waxes lyrical about. One of his favourite cars to drive. Though unfortunately it doesn't look like I have his livery loaded tonight, so car 69 tonight will almost blend into the background. The coming towards the final chicane, I believe. Yeah, coming through the final chicane, and it's the hairpin at the end of the track, and we'll follow him round on a lap of the track. See how he gets on. We've got two featured drivers tonight. We've got Johnny in GT4, who we're watching now. We've got Alex Parkin in GT3 so we'll pull those guys in and have a chat with them when they're free. Evening. No, not racing tonight. As Adam's unavailable, I said I'd take over the stream. So you're live on the stream now, just to let you know. Yeah, we're just watching Johnny on a qualifying lap. He's coming round back up the hill. No, down the hill to the hairpin. There'll be two drivers that do set a lap time before Johnny, so we should see them pop up somewhere near the top. Yes. Yeah, definitely. There'll be a bit of a pinch point. You'll want to catch the cars that you're lapping before that or just after that, really. I think coming through the last part of the first complex, you've got the left-right. So as we see Martin Thorpe set the fast lap, then Ben Brown set the fastest lap of a 2:06.680. Graphics pop up at the top of the screen thanks to ACC TV. Yeah. As we watch Johnny go across the line now to set third fastest time of a 2:08.302. So now we can see that Ben is already up on his fastest lap time, so we'll switch over to Ben. As I say that, commentator's curse, he's lost most of that time that he's up by. Martin Thorpe's currently down on his fastest lap. Johnny Ashley's 0.2 up on his lap around. Ben's managed to gain that time back. Tim Brown looks to be taking chunks out of his fastest lap, but he is a little bit off the pace at the moment, so I'm sure he'd hope he could take some time out of that lap. And as I say that again, he's lost some time. So we'll stay with Ben at the moment as he comes through the S's. He's got a car ahead of him who should move out the way. Could be getting the blue flags. See if that happens. Ben's just over 3/10 up on his fastest lap. Ooh, that's not good. If he's got enough fuel, he should be able to make it round to start another lap. So we watch Ben come out the final corner. 0.5 up and a new fastest lap of a 2:06.205. Can anyone match him? We're going to switch over to Johnny Ashley, who's coming around the final corner now. He's 1.1 up on his best time, but where will that put him? I think that will put him in P2, and it does by a quarter of a second. He's still just over a second off Ben though. And Mr. Black has managed to put a lap time in. So just behind Svonomir. Svonomir has just jumped up into P3 ahead of Martin Thorpe with a good lap. Nearly a tenth quicker than Martin. So Martin will hope he can improve. We'll jump over to watching Martin. He's half a second up. I believe Ben is following behind him. So we've got... Ooh. So that's his qualifying pretty much over. Unless he comes straight out the pits. You can only start a lap as long as there's more than 20 minutes left to go in qualifying. Yeah, he's still in the pit, so he's given up on that. We're on board following Martin Thorpe round. He's 0.7 up, which would put him into second position, and Ben Brown's behind him is on an even faster lap. Johnny's on a faster lap. Thomas Stocks is on a faster lap. So we'll see how that all pans out in a second or two. So Martin about to cross the line now, jumps up to second, and Ben Brown goes even faster with a 2:05.992. I didn't expect to see them into the 2:05s. So he's still near on 3/10 ahead of Martin Thorpe. And they've both got time for one more lap. Johnny crosses the line for a 2:07.1. Johnny's got time for one more lap. We jump back to Zvonimir Burek, who's currently down on his time, so he'll be hoping he can improve on his final lap in qualifying. Got Tim, who's managed to get through for a final lap. And then we'll switch over to Tom, see where he's coming. He's just coming over the line, so they're all now on their final lap in qualifying. And it looks like Martin's gone back to the garage. Yeah. Switch over to Johnny Ashley. He's still up just on his previous best. To say that, he's matching his previous best. So if he doesn't improve, then Zvonimir behind him improves. You could see Zvonimir jump up into third place. Yeah, Porsche Cup cars will be out on the way out, so we'll follow these GT4 laps till the end while the Porsche Cup cars are starting their out laps. So Johnny's getting near the end of the lap. He's not up or down at the moment. So if Zvonimir can gain by 3/10, and it looks like, yeah, Zvonimir's bailed out. So Johnny doesn't need to complete this lap to keep the position, and it doesn't look like he's going to jump up enough to get ahead of Martin Thorpe. So we'll go back to Tom Stocks and the oNiD liveried BMW GT4. He's currently over half a second up, so this should put him up at least one position into fifth if he can keep going. Coming up towards the chicane. Ooh, he's lost a bit of time there. Can he gain it through the chicane? It's taken a lot of curb. He's still down. Gain a bit more time. He's only got to gain half a tenth over his best lap, and he's lost it around the final corner. So we'll switch to Christopher Larson, and then we'll run through the grid for GT4. So we've got Ben Brown in first, Martin Thorpe in second, Johnny Ashley third, Zvonimir Burek fourth, William Black fifth, Thomas Stocks sixth, and Tim Brown in seventh. Evening, Johnny. How's it going? Yeah, very impressive. We do. We've mentioned that already. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we watched you round on a couple of laps. Saw you were going well. The top two guys were just following each other around, just trading lap times.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous time as well.
Yeah.
Apparently I can't be. They can't hear me. It's interesting. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, they should be able to hear you now.
Hi, Jimmy. Can you hear me now? Wait for the chat. Wait for the chat. Yeah.
Now
Thanks,
good.
Bob.
Yeah. Oh dear. We didn't know. We didn't need to know that, Jimmy. We really didn't need to know that.
Oh dear. Cut cars is going to be interesting today, I think.
Yeah, with the championships up for grabs.
Yeah, it's I think everyone's here out of the cup cars. We've got Shahabi, Larson, Southall. Yeah, so we've got a pretty good lineup for it. I'll be kind of sad to see this championship go. It's been an absolute
it's been
laugh.
As people have probably known before that I'm normally driving in it. So we've got Luke Southall, who's just set the fastest lap. Jump over to him. Who's 7/10 up on Alex Shahabi. Alex will be hoping to put a faster lap in than that. So Christopher Larson goes third with a 1:59.900. Then gets dropped down into fourth by Josh McKean with a 1:59.142, which is a lot closer to the pole time. We'll see it pop up at the top if anyone sets the fastest lap of the session so far.
It's interesting as well with the tight championship and the massive change in the last patch, because that's really seems to have affected the Porsche cars from what they've all been saying.
Yeah, they've some places it's made them a lot better, other places it's made them a lot worse. I think, a big slide there. I think most people have universally said for all cars it's made it more about tyre management than it was before. You can't overheat the tyres, otherwise you'll just wear them out straight away. So Luke's now down on his current lap. But at the moment, it doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to get close to 1:58.365. With over half of the allotted time for the Porsche Cup cars has gone already. We'll ride on board with Alex Shahabi. Coming through the final chicane. He's 0.7 up on his lap. So may get close as Luke has set the fastest lap again. I think Alex went slightly quicker, but not by much. Stay on board with him briefly. So he's left around turn 2. Down to turn 3, hard on the brakes. Try and keep it nice and tight to the left-hand side. And cut as much as you can on the right-hand side to try and straighten the car up and get the power down. These cars don't have traction control, so you've got to be very smooth. Try and get the car as straight as possible.
Doesn't help me when I've got a lead foot.
No, certainly doesn't. Although I've been driving the Ginetta in the GT4 series. When it's been dry races, I've been using zero traction control, and it's been really, really good fun.
You can literally throw it around.
You certainly can. So we're now coming up the hill towards the Schumacher S's. Take a bit of curb on the right, curb on the left, and curb on the right again. We're only 1/10 up, and so thanks to Jimbo for subscribing.
Nice one, Jim bloke.
Keep following through for the rest of this lap. Luke looks like he's going to get into the 157s, which will be an astonishing lap time.
I'm going to put him in the mix near front of the GT3s.
It certainly appears it would. Alex takes a huge amount of curb through the chicane there.
Absolutely terrifying through there. I would not like to be driving it.
Yeah, as Luke hits a 157.840. And I think Alex went 4,000th of a second quicker. So we'll jump to Josh McKean, who's half a second up, coming round the final corner. Where will that put him? I don't think it's going to jump him up a position, but it's going to get him a lot closer. Yeah, 158.665. What can Christopher Larson in P4 do? He's currently near the start of the lap. So currently we've got Alex about par on with his fastest lap. Oh, no, sorry, Luke about par with his fastest lap. Alex slightly down, Josh slightly up. Christopher up by half a second, and Andrew up by 0.2 of a second. Coming around the hairpin. Soon start to see the GT3 cars coming out of the pits. Just coming up to the top of the hill. Yeah, still just over half a second up on the fastest lap, which he's still got to find a bit more time if he wants to jump up a position. These should be the final laps for the Porsche Cup cars in their qualifying session. Go on board. Not as much curb there as Alex was taking around the final corner. And then it's a sprint to the line. Can Christopher get into the 158? He can't, so that's a 159.067.
Interesting thing is, I think Southall, Shahabi and Larson all got round for another lap.
Don't think Larson did.
Still going?
There was less. I'm sure there was less than 10 minutes on the timer. Looks like Josh McKean's gone off, given up on his lap. Oh, and then Christopher's exited to pits. So we'll jump over to Jimmy Mancy. Currently in 13th, but that's because he hasn't set a lap time yet. So we've got most of the GT3 cars in a train coming down towards the hairpin at the moment.
Hopefully I didn't just catch my almost accident on the stream then. Bloody hell.
Yeah, we didn't. Lucky for you.
Nearly rear-ended turn, very hard.
That's not what you need in qualifying, especially with only 10 minutes. You want to get a lap in early and then just try and improve on it, ideally. So we should be on flying laps very shortly. He hits the curb very hard and throws up some sparks from the back of the car. We will try and jump on with, I believe it's car number 2, which is, it's all right. Car number 15 is the first one on a lap, which is I can't see car. Oh, it's P15, I believe. Thank you to JLAMG8789 for following on Twitch. I've selected the wrong camera angle. We're on board with Javier Marquez, who's currently going to be the first driver to set a lap time. You can ignore the lap deltas for now. They'll be more important once the drivers have set a lap. We'll probably see a fair few pop-ups at the top of the screen showing the fastest lap of the session. So GT3s should be a little quicker than the Porsche Cup cars, but the time set by the fastest Porsche Cup car is a very good time. So you never know. Could see a Porsche Cup car on pole. We'll find out in the next 6.5 minutes that we've got left of this qualifying session. Coming through the kink up to the chicane. See how much curb taking a GT3 car. Ooh, that's a lot of curb at the second part of the chicane. Go around the final corner. Yeah, and we've got a new fastest lap. And then another new fastest lap of a 156, and then another new fastest lap, still in a 156, is Luke Southall in the Porsche Cup car is currently 4th overall on the grid. So we've got Jack Lancaster, Jimmy Mancy, Javier Marquez, Luke Southall, Andrew Hearn, Alex Parkin, Gabriel Simoes, Alex Shahabi, Josh McKean, Martin Legg, Christopher Larson, and then Greg Prescott. Countdown to the lowest GT3 car that have set lap time so far. We're still waiting for 3 GT3 cars to set laps at the moment. We'll go and see where Ralph is, Ralph Vest, who last time out was very unlucky to not win after having technical issues in the pit stop, where to start with he didn't put enough fuel in, then pitted again and it didn't put any fuel in, so I had to pit for a 3rd time and finished just behind me in 4th position overall, in 4th position in class, even 14th overall. We'll jump over to Alex Parkin. He was very unlucky to not win that as well. He was over half a lap in the lead and had an incident with the back marker, so very unlucky. I think he had about 4 minutes of damage after that, but still.
Oh, I think someone just went off in front of me at the last chicane. There were a lot of dust in there.
Not that I saw. So Jimmy Mancy now sets a 1:55.850 fastest lap. Got Alex Parkin in 3rd.
Sandbag.
With a 1:56.980, so he's just over 1.1 off pole at the moment. We've got Jack back in the pits at the moment, so he might come back out for another lap. So we're expecting some of the pro drivers to jump up a bit. Andrew Hearn currently in 7th position. We'll be hoping that he can jump up a little bit higher. He's currently 4 tenths up on his fastest lap, which would, if he can keep that up, would drop him into 5th position. Greg down in 14th currently, up on his lap time. Javier Marquez is up on his lap time, so if he can keep that up, he'll jump Alex into third. Alex will drop down to fourth. Doesn't look like anyone's going to match Jimmy's time at the moment. We'll stay with Andrew as he comes up to the final chicane. Doesn't take a lot of the big sausage curbs there. He's 0.6, nearly 0.6 up. That puts him into fifth. Half a second behind Alex, who is in the car behind. We'll try and find... So Martin's just finished a lap. Prescott's just finished a lap to jump up to 14th, ahead of Christopher Larson. Ralph Vest down in 13th will be hoping he can improve his lap time from a 1:58.642, and as I say that, he's dived into the pits, so won't be seeing any more laps from Ralph. We'll go to on board with Jimmy. He comes through the Schumacher S's. He's 3/10 up on his fastest lap, which would put him in the mid 1:55s. Javier Marquez looks like he could get into the 1:55s if he can keep that time up that he's currently setting. We've got less than 40 seconds of qualifying left to go. Coming up to the final chicane. Jimmy's nearly just gained bags full of time through there by not hitting those sausage curves. Come around the final corner, just keep it neat and tidy. And we're coming up to the line, and this looks like it's going to be a low 1:55, which it is. It's a 1:55.267. And it's Javier Marquez. Ooh, so close to getting through that barrier into the 1:55s, which he was unfortunately unable to do. We ride we ride round watching Jack Lancaster, who, if he can keep this improvement up, will get into second position. So we've only got 4 cars out on track now. Again, this is gaining bags of time through this final section. Is it going to be anywhere near Jimmy Mance's pole time of a 1:55.267? It's closer, but it's still nearly 4/10 off. As he pulls over, so we'll go back to the cinematic scenes of the Nurburgring in daytime. We can run down tonight's grid. So on pole we've got Jimmy Mance, second Jack Lancaster, third Javier Marquez, fourth Dave Selecki, fifth Alex Parkin, sixth Grant Eckett, seventh Andrew Hearn, eighth Luke Southall, 9 Gabriel Smoes, 10th Martin Legg, 11th Alex Shahabi, 12th Josh McKean, 13th Ralph Vest, unlucky for some, 14th Greg Prescott, 15th Christopher Larson, 16th Andrew Pike, 17th Ben Brown, 18th Martin Thorpe, 19th Johnny Ashley, 20th Zvonimir Burek, 21st William Black, 22nd Thomas Stocks, 23rd Tim Brown. Rounding off the grid in 24th is Matt Wilmot. Everyone will be getting their car ready, making sure got enough fuel in, making sure their pit stops are set up ready, tyre pressures. are ready to go. We're looking at race starting, going on the formation lap in around 2.5 minutes. We've just got Ralph S put in the chat. He's not a big fan of this track. Thinks parking needs to have 1,000 kilograms of ballast. I don't think that's very fair. So we drove back last night. Drove back last night at Bathurst from 4 laps down to get the win. No one's counted you out yet. Anything can happen in an hour-and-a-half race. So we'll see what happens. We're nearly ready to go out on the formation lap. Just the final changes to go. All of the drivers are doing their pre-race rituals, making sure they're ready to go. So we'll switch over to live on the grid. Just make a few adjustments on the timing tower, ready for the start of the race. So we'll be getting ready to go. You see the cars dropping down onto the grid as the drivers finalise their setup changes before the start of the race. Making sure they've got fuel on board, fresh set of tyres, and 2 pit stops set up to go. See the headlights coming on now. Should be getting underway any second now. Yeah, there's Jimmy leads them off onto the formation lap. Just a reminder, this will be a rolling start in a 2x2 grid. So we've currently got 20 watching. Thanks everyone for coming along to watch. This is my first stream for oNiD Racing. Normally I would be taking part in this race in the GT3 AM class in a green and yellow Lamborghini Huracan Evo, which is not the easiest car to drive, but can be good fun at times. Certainly the new 1.8 update has made it slightly easier to drive. Whereas before you could be halfway through a corner and the back end will decide, I just don't want to stick anymore. It's a little bit better now, but a bit more understeery. But I think most of the cars are a bit more understeery on the new patch and the new balance of performance that they've been applied to the cars. And I think once everyone gets to the grips with the setups, the BMW M4 GT3 won't be as far ahead and won't be the favourite car as much as it is now. I think the base setup on that car, which isn't in tonight's race as it wasn't out when this series was started, is a lot better than the base setup on other cars. So it makes it easier that you can just jump in and drive it without having to worry about making a setup or applying a setup. Just drop in and go. Oh, as Jimmy goes a bit wide off track there. Coming round the hairpin, I believe. We on the back. I think we're coming up towards the end of the lap. To help if I put the track map up. Yeah, coming up towards the final chicane. Everyone will now be told to get into the side-by-side 2x2 grid. See the monster livery.
Good luck, Johnny.
Yeah, good luck, mate. Have a good one.
Cheers, man.
Good luck to both of you. Now,
Just pray for no chaos turn 1.
yeah,
I'm on the inside, so it could be interesting.
we should be all right tonight. I'm not racing, so no one should get hided.
It's a pretty heavy braking zone. I'm worried.
So we're coming up to the start-finish straight now. The lead cars, so we should be green any second now.
Green light,
And it's green, and it's go. So looks pretty even at the front. We're going to have 2 Aston Martins going side by side into turn 1. We've got Jimmy Mancy ahead on the inside, and big hit there for Dave Zalecki on the inside, but he's managed to get through into P2. And we've got Greg Prescott dropping down the order. We can see if we can go and find him. And he looks like he's had an issue at turn 1. Looks like Josh McKean's had some kind of troubles down there as well. We've got Ralph Vest down, battling, trying to get back through the GT4s. It looks like he's dropped down a bit. He's just behind Tom Stocks. Got the top 3 overall within around 2 seconds of each other. Ralph sends one up the inside there.
Oh, Eckett's nearly spun in the Schumacher S's, if you caught that. Jeez.
I haven't. Looks like he's dropping down a bit.
I don't know if he kept it together or not, but it was nerve-wracking.
He's dropped down to P9. We've got 3. He's got a bit of a train of cars ahead of him. All quite close. All look to be. We'll jump to the car that's the head of that train, which is Alex Parkin. Wow, that's a lot of cars you've got queued up behind, trying to get past.
Yep.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think one have managed it.
8. Yeah, looks like Luke Southall's got ahead, and then Martin Legg's going to send one up the inside as well.
Had a fairly bad run out last corner and lost a lot of ground.
I think you're going to got the inside for the next turn, and Martin's on the outside. Is going to tuck in behind. He'll try and tuck in behind. Gabriel Smoes has stuck his nose up the inside as well, and he's going to get past Martin Legg. And he has. That's a great overtake. We've got Andrew Hearns just dropped to place. He's having a battle with Grant Beckett. Down in P10 and P11. The top 3 AM drivers looking to be doing quite well in 6th, 7th and 8th overall today. We will drop back to some GT4 action, as it looks like Ben Brown's just gained a position, which puts him in 3rd position, as Johnny's managed to jump up to 2nd in class and Martin's in the lead of the class. Ben's about around 3 seconds behind Johnny. Johnny's one and a half behind Martin, as we've got Greg Prescott coming back through after that spin, so he should clear these guys pretty quick. So they're not going to defend. They're not although they're in the same race, they're not racing each other, as Jimmy Mancy sets fastest race lap of a 1:55.797. He's currently around 2 seconds ahead of Jake Lancaster. As could switch to Martin Legg getting ahead of Gabriel Simoes, then tries to fight back round the outside of turn 2.
Yeah, they've been having a good old battle in my rearview mirror.
And then he's just run off track slightly. So now the leaders of the GT3 AM class are Alex Parkin in first, Martin Legg in second, and Gabriel Simoes in third. Got Jimmy Mancy, Jack Lancaster and Dave Selecki as the top 3 in GT3 Pro. Now this is going to be the tough one. I've got to work out who's in Porsche Cups. I believe Luke Southall. Yeah, it looks like Luke Southall's leading the Porsche Cup class at the minute in 5th overall. Then you've got Alex Shahabi. It's not too far behind in 9th. Then has Alex Shahabi just had an off? He has. He looks like he's gone backwards into a wall. Can he keep it going? Dropping down the order now, down to 16th. Behind Josh McKean, also in the Porsche Cup. It looks like we may have had a coming together with Andrew Hearn. He's got Grant Eckett right behind him. And then Christopher Larson right behind him. Looking to have we're looking at some close battles throughout the field at the moment, as Martin Legg is less than half a second behind Alex Parkin. So we'll jump to that, as that is battle for the GT3 class lead. Looks like he's dropped back a bit. Probably had a decent toe down the start-finish straight, as Christopher Larson gets ahead of Matt Wilmot for 10th overall, which I believe is second in class for Christopher Larson. We've got a train of 3 cars coming up to the hairpin. This looks to be one of the closest battles on track, although they're not actually battling each other. They are all in different classes, but they're all, with their skill level and the car ability, their setup, the pace they've got at the moment, they're all doing similar lap times. As we've got Jimmy Mancy set at 1:55.627, which is the new fastest lap of the race. As we can go over to see Gabriel Simoes, which for some reason it thinks he's gone in the pits, which he hasn't. As he looks to let Andrew Hearn pass, as they are in different classes, so there's no point in them fighting each other. He still stays on the GT3 and podium at the moment. So we've got Martin Legg, who's still within a second of Alex Parkin for the GT3 AM lead at the moment. As I've just seen, Josh McKean has just got past Ralph Vest for 14th overall. We'll drop back now down to the GT4s with Zvonimir Burek, who's less than half a second behind William Black, looking to make an overtake. So Black takes the wider line around that corner, cuts back in, which allows him to gap Burek slightly. Is he going to take his time to get past? Or is he going to think, I need to get past now? I think he's looking at pushing Black into a mistake as Jimmy Mancy sets another new fastest lap of the race of a 1:55.355. That's the number. So we're just over 10 minutes into the race. So we'll run down. We've got Jimmy Mancy in the lead by nearly 8 seconds. That make that 5 seconds. We've got Dave Zalecki close in behind, as looks like Grant Eckett's just got past Christopher Larson. And Matt Wilmot will be looking to do the same very shortly. So he tries to make his way up towards the podium positions.
I think Mr. Legs just had some minor incident. He's dropped off about a second and a half all of a sudden.
Yeah, I can see that. He's 1.2, probably ran wide slightly. As I say that, he's just spun it at what appears to be the top of the Schumacher S's, got head on into the wall and continued. So he's going nowhere fast at the moment. Looks like he's got a fair amount of damage, so he may pit. He's going very slowly. Now down towards the kink and the final chicane. We'll go on board to see how bad the damage is. Yeah, there's he's missed the chicane completely. He's got quite a bit of windscreen damage, which is usually a good indicator. As Christopher Larson's had an off as well. He's facing the wrong way on the start-finish straight, so probably just dropped it on the final corner. Obviously used some kind of track map there to find a gap in the traffic to spin the car around and get himself pointing the right way again. I will should be able to update you on a pit timer once Martin Legg has exited the pits, to see how long he was stopped for. See if he took tyres. We might not be able to work that out, but he may take tyres and repair the damage. He may only repair the damage. So that Martin's now going to drop down behind the GT4 cars. Got Dave Zalecki less than a second behind Jake Lancaster. It's Audi versus Aston Martin for P3. Sorry, P2. Javier Marquez in P3, a bit further back. Looks like Zvonimir has finally got past, but had maybe some contact, as it looks like he's given the position back straight away. But now Thomas Stocks joining the battle, and looks like Johnny Ashley's dropped down. into...
Lost it at the last chicane.
Oh no, unlucky. Well, you're not too far behind, so you still may be able to get back up onto the to the podium. As Mr. Black is currently on the podium, and you're all on the same straight at the moment. So we'll look to follow this battle and see how it continues on. Looks to be a bigger gap, splitting into two groups. As one of me is still looking for a way past. As we'll switch back to Johnny Ashley, as he looks like he's managed to get ahead of Tom Stocks. Just off camera, so we're sure it's a great overtake, but we just missed it.
It was majestic, mate.
We'll see if he can now close that 1.7 second gap to Zonomir in front. Taking a bit of curb on the left, but no sausage curb on the right. Come around the final corner. We'll go on board for a cockpit view. And as you'll notice, unlike most of the other GT cars, the Ginetta is right-hand drive, which is the correct side of the car. Coming through turn 1, we're 1.5 seconds behind Zvonimir Bjorek. And we'll jump over to Andrew Pike, who has just been overtaken by Josh McKean, and we've got Ralph Vest close in behind, looking to make a move. Oh, and I think there's been some contact between Zvonimir and Black. He's now... Zvonimir has got past. I think they're both... But must have been something, because they've both fallen back towards Johnny Ashley. Johnny will be hoping he can not necessarily replicate that move, but have the same outcome and get past William Black. Looking to maybe get a good slipstream down the back straight. Or will it be Black making a move on Bjorek? They're all equidistant at the moment. Ralph Vest still close in behind Andrew Pike. As I say that, we switch to Ralph looking to go around, and he's made it round. And as long as he can keep it on the track, should be okay, and he is. So we'll jump up to Dave Selecki in 4th position, hot on the heels of Javier Marquez. So Javier has a huge moment coming out of the final corner. Selecki's now less than half a second behind. Keep it clean through here. Might be able to have a look coming down towards the hairpin. Even sooner if he's a bit closer. Tim Brown looks to be having some strife. Yeah, it's just coming back on track. Martin Thorpe is now ahead of Christopher Larson. Something must have happened to Larson's in the pits. We go back to Martin Legg. Martin had a 49.2 second stop. Looks like Johnny's had a stop as well. Ben's had a stop. Brown, so that's Johnny's only point, only a second behind Ben, so it looks like Johnny had a much shorter stop, about half the time, so that's where he's gained all that time. Alex Parkin still. He's now behind Andrew Hearn, following him round, trying to keep pace with him, help pull away from the other cars in the GT3 AM class.
Yeah, I just let him up the inside of the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. I didn't want to hold him up too badly.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. You can try and follow him round and see if you can pick up a bit of speed.
Yeah, hopefully find my way past Southlaw because I've been right. I've been following him for the best part of 20 minutes now.
Yeah. Either find a way past or overcut. Maybe try and overcut or undercut at the pit stop. So Dave Zalecki's still trying to find a way past Javier Marquez, taking a tighter line around the hairpin. They're both coming up to lap one of the GT4 Aston Martins, which I believe will be Purek. That's allowed the gap to open up slightly. Dave will be trying to put the pressure back on pretty soon. So we've got in the GT4, we've got Martin Thorpe, then Zvonimir Burek and Thomas Stocks rounding out the podium positions. In Porsche Cup, we've got Luke Southall, Josh McKean, and then Andrew Pike in the podium positions currently. Then in Gabriel Simoes in P2 looks to be going slowly. He's trying to lap, which I believe Tim Brown, I believe, who's now gone off track. Looks like Greg Prescott's had an off. He's back on track again. Ooh. Ben Brown's had a big off. Wonder where he's off. Coming up to final chicane. He's back on track. Looks to be some kind of, I believe that was some kind of incident with Martin Legg, who's now in the pits again. Greg Prescott's now ahead of Alex Shahabi, who's in the pits. That's Johnny Ashley up to P4 in class. And the number 69 car. Showing a few battle scars down the side. We were running through, so we've got jump on board with Alex Parkin. So Alex is first in GT3 AM, then Gabriel Simoes second, Matt Wilmot third, and then in GT3 Pro we've got Jimmy Mancy first, Jack Lancaster second, and Javier Marquez in third. Dave Zalecki still trying to find a way past. Still keeping within a second gap. So come down to turn one. We've got Ralph Vest less than a second behind Andrew Pike. As Greg Prescott's 8.7 behind. So we'll go on board with Ralph. Ooh, as he makes a very late dive for the pit lane. Ooh, very close to the wall. I'm not sure you'd get away with that in real life, but I don't think the game will flag a dive into the pit that late. So we'll go back to Dave Selecki, who was less than half a second behind as they're going past one of the GT4 cars. Go on board. See the blue glow inside the car indicates he's got his main beam on. He wants to get past. We'll watch from the rear wing of Javier Marquez as he runs a little bit wider. You can see Selecki trying to keep those tighter lines through the corners, but then that doesn't give him such a good exit out the corner, and you can see that as we're on board with Marquez, we managed to pull away a bit down that straight with the kink coming through the final chicane, final corner. We'll go back to Alex Parkin, who's lapping Zvonimir Burek. Does that neatly up the inside of the chicane.
Might look neat, but I would terrified.
Yeah. You're still keeping. Well, you were keeping with Andrew Hearn till the you had to lap one of the GT4 cars. We'll go back to our current race leader, as Luke Southall appears to have had a spin from the lead of the Porsche Cup class, but I believe he's still in the lead, but now only about 13 seconds ahead of P2, which is Josh McKean, as Andrew Pike is currently in the pit. I wonder what happened there. Probably got a bit excited on the loud pedal. Got, I believe, Greg Prescott in the pit. We've got Andrew Pike now leaving the pit as Greg leaves the pit. They'll drop down to 13th and 16th respectively overall. Yeah, and as we go back to Alex Parkin in the lead of the GT3 AM class. It's still less than a second behind Andrew, just shadowing him round. It's quite an impressive drive so far to be 6th overall, ahead of quite a few Porsche Cup cars and a couple of pro drivers, I believe. Makes his way past Ben Brown going into Tim Brown going into turn 1, as Tim Brown spins off in the background and rejoins. Dave Selecki's now dropped back ever so slightly from the back of Javier Marquez to around 1 second. So it doesn't look like he appears to be on the attack at the moment. Still got Ralph Vest tucked up behind Porsche Cup car of Christopher Larson in 15th overall. Ooh, brakes very late for the chicane there and has to cut across the track. He didn't brake early enough. We've got Matt Wilmot in the pit now, as Andrew Pike has had a spin coming around the final corner. On the entry to the final corner. So that appears to be a good place to spin, if any, at the moment. We've got Javier Marquez in the pit, so Andrew Hearn will hope to overcut there. Sorry, Dave Selecki will be hoping to overcut there, who stayed out, now up to P3 overall. So we'll go back to Jimmy, who's leading the race by around 15 seconds with an hour left to go. Still have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drivers yet to take a pit stop yet. We've got one driver, Black, who's taken both pit stops. Currently in last position.
I think only one of them counted though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still got a 1 next to his name.
possibly. It's
I think he had a drive-through.
Ah, yes, he did. I think he had a stop go.
yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't show on this timing board. It just tells me he's been in the pits twice. As Alex Shahabi is now ahead of Gabriel Simoes, as Gabriel's gone into the pits. Have a look. Ben Brown's now catching up to Johnny Ashley. Gap's under 3 seconds now, as the leader's coming up to lap them. So we'll stay and watch this and see if the leaders get round. Well, the leader gets round safely, because the second place car won't be round for around 15 seconds or so. Is it going to slow Johnny down any more than it's slowed Ben down there? Jump forward to Johnny, as he's got that Aston Martin looming large in his mirrors. Don't think that slowed him down at all. But the gap is now down to 2 seconds. This is the battle for 4th. But the 3 cars ahead in GT4 have yet to make a stop. And as it looks like Greg Prescott's had another off. Yeah, you just see him rejoining the track. Now down in 13th. Looks like Alex is walking away currently with GT3. And as we see him going off track again, Greg Prescott. I think out of GT3 Alex is the leading car not to have pitted. Now Ralph Best is coming to have a look round the outside at turn 1 on Prescott. Cuts back in. Gonna stick his nose up. No, it goes for a wider line. Try and get a nice turn in. Looks like he's just going to follow through this section to take those tighter lines again as the car behind. He might have a run down into the next corner, or is he a little bit too far back? I don't see him making a Max Verstappen move up the inside on the brakes. Isn't usually his style. Ooh, is he? There's a massive moment as the car bottoms out on the curb on the exit of the corner. Still within half a second. Oh, as he tries to run it round the outside, takes a little bit too much speed into the corner and runs off. He's covered it back on track and just dropped to 2 seconds back. As Ben Brown is now less than 1.5 seconds behind Johnny Ashley. Closing in. He's got appears to be a Porsche Cup car coming up to lap him. And I'm incorrect. I think that's Gabriel Samos in the GT3 AM class Porsche 991 GT3 car. With then another GT3 car coming through to lap both of them, which is 6:02, I think. Which is yeah, Jack Lancaster. Is that helping? Is that dropping? No, it's dropping Ben back ever so slightly, but then Johnny running wide to get out of the way of those cars lapping him has then brought them back again. But then Ben's going to have to get out of the way again for some more cars as Christopher Larson runs a bit wide to go round. Gap is now 1 second to Johnny Ashley. You can see they're a lot closer. Johnny going to have to lift off to let the Porsche Cup car through. Doesn't look like he did. The Porsche Cup car did have the pace down the straight to make it past. Ben going to have to let this GT3 car through. Yeah, he's let him through before the S is, and then Johnny's just pulled over, brake a bit early. Dave Selecki makes a very opportunistic move to lap Ben Brown around the outside. Not really the room there. Ben stayed predictable, didn't move, and in a straight line. Gives Selecki the old flash, old BTCC flash as they're coming down towards the hairpin. And he's still, even with all this traffic getting in the way of their battle, or you could say they're getting in the way of someone else's battle, the gap's now under 1 second. So that looks like the last bit of traffic for at least a few corners. It's look at that GT3 Aston will go inside. Johnny goes inside to defend. Ben's going to take a wider line around the outside. And then again the wider line. Can he get close enough to put his nose up the inside and have a look at a pass? Not yet. Just shadowing him round. Gap's just under a second. So we'll watch that come down. Further up the field we've got Javier Marquez, less than half a second behind Luke Southall. Around half a second. We've got Ralph Vest now in the pits. Alex Parkin appears to have Javier Marquez appears to have got past Luke Southall. Parkin has taken his pit stop and still in the lead of GT3 AM. So we've got Tim Brown in the pit now. And looks just to be taking a measured approach here. Now he's caught up. Doesn't want to push too hard, kill the tyres. Greg Prescott's now in third in GT3 AM. Jimmy Vance is still in the lead, GT3 Pro and overall. As Dave Zalecki is now up into second as Jack Lancaster has died for pit lane. Alex Parkins less than a second behind Alex Shahabi. So we'll just watch this for a moment. Jimmy Vance is leading the race by 27 seconds currently. Yes. Johnny's in pit road again.
Yeah, do me last and me stops, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben was catching you pretty quick then, but didn't manage to get past.
No, I dived in the pits. I didn't want to lose too much time to him. He's probably not my battle, to be honest.
No.
I want to aim for third, so Burek and Willie were my battle.
Yeah.
So I think if I can get out in front of them, that'll be a good enough result for me and just maintain it to the end of the race now.
Yeah.
Come out into plenty of clean air, so...
Yeah, you've got 30 odd seconds to Tom Stocks, and the computer's just trying to work out how far ahead of Black you are. We'll update that later. We're looking for...
I think Shahabi's just took his last pit stop as well.
I believe you are correct. Currently about to stop in pit road, as the Americans call it. So currently we've only got 8 drivers who've not made a stop yet, with 48 minutes to go. Some strange strategies going on here.
I think you'll probably see him pit on the 45-minute mark.
Yeah.
And then go directly in again, I would think, or try and do a quick dash before the end of the pit window.
Yeah. Yeah, would make sense, as it's only fuel mandatory, not tyres mandatory. Matt Wilmot's close to Greg Prescott. Greg Prescott's also close to Christopher Larson in 13th, 12th and 11th respectively. All three have made one pit stop. As we cut to the leader, who's on his way into the pits. His first pit stop of the race. Got a couple of the cars in the pit lane at the moment. Will this drop him into second, or will Dave Zalecki follow him into the pits? Alex Parkins now back up to 7th overall after his first stop. And Zalecki has stayed out to take overall race lead at the moment. We'll throw up the track map. See the cars are fairly spread out around the lap now. The closest battle on track is 10th, 11th and 12th. Andrew Hearn's now in pit lane from third overall. But Grant Eckett up to P2 with Jimmy Mancy out in P3, but not far behind. We've got Matt Wilmot close in behind Greg Prescott. He's looking to make a move. That would put him third in GT3 AM. Still got Martin Thorpe in the lead of GT4 as he is yet to stop. Sonomir Burek in second, Ben Brown in third. We'll go back to the GT3 Pro fight, which we've got Jimmy Mancy currently third in class and third overall, coming up behind Grant Eckett, second in class, second overall, as I've just seen Dave Zalecki has dived into the pits. So if Grant Eckett can keep Jimmy Mancy behind for a few more corners, we'll put him in the lead of the race.
Sorry if we got a bit close there, Johnny.
Oh, you're fine, mate. You're absolutely fine. I would have told you if you were.
So we've just got Alex lapping Johnny.
Just wants to get a bit of that paint job all over my door.
So Eckett dives in the pits, which will put Jimmy Mancy back in the lead of the race. And we'll see where those two, where Zalecki and Eckett drop to after their pit stops. Looks like Alex Parkin has managed to get ahead of Luke Southall in the pit stop phase and still following it relatively closely to Andrew Hearn. It's got a 10-second gap to Gabriel Simoes in P2 in class.
Someone's just got a stop go, number 17.
Number 17 has a stop go, which is Greg Prescott. So I'm going to assume that's speeding in the pit lane because he's just come out the pits. So he's dropped from second overall to 14th overall and unfortunately got himself a stop go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Got Alex Parkin now just behind Grant Eckett as they make their way past the GT4 runners. Eckett makes his way past. Alex will have to wait for at least another corner to go. Looks like he'll get past on the next straight. Going up the inside into the hairpin. We've got Zvonimir Purek in the pit. Purek in the pit. Where is he going to come out? Is he going to come out behind Johnny Ashley or just behind Tom Stocks? We'll soon find out. Is he going to come out ahead of both of them?
I'm just going down the back straight. It ain't going to be me.
No. Looks like he's come out ahead of both. He's come out behind Ben Brown as Martin Thorpe is now in the pits. We've got Ben Brown coming down to the hairpin. I believe Martin Thorpe should stay in the lead when he comes out of the pits. Thomas Stocks is only 3.5 behind Bjorek now. As I believe Greg Prescott has just served his stop-go penalty, putting him now down in 15th overall, just under a minute off Ralph at best in 14th. Martin's in the pits. He's now on pit exit, and it's a lot closer than I thought it would be. Ben's coming around the final corner. Still some margin, but it's not as big as I thought it would be. And it appears to be around 10 seconds. So if Ben can push hard, bang those quick laps in, there's plenty of time to catch up. We've got 39 minutes and both have got another pit stop to make. As I believe Mr. Black has made his second pit stop, puts him around 35 seconds behind Johnny. As
what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
Ralph Vest is facing the tyre barrier the wrong way. Reverses, spins it round, sets off on his way again. That's going to allow anyone through. Doesn't. That's I think that was Andrew Hearn lapping him. I think he's still some way ahead of Greg Prescott. He lost about 15 seconds. Christopher Larson is now in the pit. As I think it showed up as a yellow flag for Black, but he seems to be okay now, so whatever issue he's had, he's recovered it quite well. As I believe that Selecki's just got ahead of Simoes up to 8th overall, around 3.5 down on Luke Southwall. Dave's made his second stop, so's Jack Lancaster, Jimmy Mancy, Javier Marquez, Andrew Hearn, Grant Eckett, Alex Parkin, Luke Southall and Gabriel Simoes have still only made one stop. Now at the top 9, Matt Wilmot rounds out the top 10, also only having made one stop so far. Alex Parkins still following Eckett round after their first stop. Their first stops. Both of them have stopped so far. Go to try and find the leader in Porsche Cup, which is Luke Southall. He's currently a good chunk of time, 25 seconds ahead of Josh McKean, who's then a further 17 seconds ahead of Alex Shahabi in third position in Porsche Cup. Which is Luke Southall's in P7 overall, which is a good showing for a Porsche Cup car. He's only made the one stop. But Dave Selecki less than a second behind. Will not want to get held up too much behind the Porsche Cup car. He's made his second stop, so he's going to the end. So he's looking to hopefully jump a few of the cars that are ahead once they make their second stops. Both coming up to Lapa GT4, and oh, Dave's taken way too much curb there, and at a moment and gone out on the grass. Has he recovered it? He has, so that's good. He's back on track, but he's lost the place to Samos, as Jake Lancaster is now ahead of Javier Marquez. As Marquez, we can see there, he's taken a pit stop, and now that should be his 2 pit stops cleared. Let's see where that drops him. That's dropped him into 4th position, with Grant Eckett not that far behind, and he's not that far behind Andrew Hearn. Andrew Hearn still yet to make his second stop, as it looks like Josh McKean's in some trouble coming out of the surprise final corner. Got another Porsche Cup car off there in P11 overall, which now puts Alex Shahabi a lot closer. So we'll have a look at the table to see how that's going to affect the Porsche Cup standings. So Alex Shahabi's currently in 3rd position, and Luke Southall is in 1st, leading the class. So at the moment, he's going to, as it stands, he's going to take the Porsche Cup championship for this season if he can keep ahead of Alex Shahabi. Dave Selecki is now closing in on the back of Gabriel Samos again. As I say, that goes a bit wide, bottoms out on the curb, makes some sparks. Coming up to through the final chicane. Ooh, a bit of a wiggle on there on the exit. Oh, and he's gone very wide onto the grass. Very well held. That could have been a lot worse. He's lost a bit of time that he's going to have to make up. But he's made 2 pit stops. But
Brothers just took out other brother.
oh,
Tim's just took out Ben.
He's taken him out. Ben's gone that far off track. I couldn't see him through the trees. That's dropped them. Let's drop Ben down behind Johnny. Put Johnny up to 4th in class, and Tim's down in last at the minute. Still circulating just behind, with his indicator on for some reason, left-hand indicator. Maybe that's what threw Ben off, the indicator being on. Maybe he thought it was indicating to go one way, and that wasn't the case. We've got, I believe, Matt Wilmot into the pit. Double check that. No, he's just lost a position to Christopher Larson. But Christopher Larson's in the Porsche Cup class, so Matt Wilmot's still just on the podium. Like I say, just he's 30 seconds ahead of Ralph Vest in 4th in TT3 AM. As Black looks to be going slowly, probably to let one of the faster cars through. As Andrew Hearn looks to be making a move on Javier Marquez. As, Grant Eckett and Alex Parkin are both in the pits. I wonder if Alex can hear me. How was that stint?
All right until the last 10 minutes, then I really got held up by traffic quite badly.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, luckily you've got a decent gap to the car behind, so another clean stint in your home and dry. But anything could happen. Good luck.
cheers, man. Yeah, still where I want to be, man. Simo's had good pace. He was keeping. He kept up with the entire time there, so he's found a good rhythm, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see where he comes out after his last stop. There's less than half an hour to go in this race. Feels like non-stop action. It's always...
Tom Stocks has just got a stop-go speeding in the pit lane.
Yep, so he's just made his second stop and then got a stop-go. So that should promote you, Johnny, onto the podium at the moment. Currently on the podium.
Nice. That would be nice.
Oh no, it promotes you onto the podium anyway because you've made your 2 stops.
I have.
You might even get P2. I think Zvonimir, you're 37 seconds behind Zvonimir, and he's got to make another stop.
You get me all excited, Dan.
As Martin Thilp comes into the pits for his second stop. I don't want to make you too excited. You don't want to make a mistake.
Well, I've still got Ben lingering behind me, so...
Yeah, just under a 7-second gap at the moment. Tom's a further 7 seconds back, but he's then got to take his stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. What we'll do, we'll go on with Johnny and we will look at his last 3 lap times and then compare those with Ben's, which over the last 3 laps looks a bit strange as Ben had that incident with Tim. But on lap 27, which was the last lap, Ben was 1.1 seconds quicker. So the gap's now down to 6 seconds. You can't quite see him coming into the back of the shot. But within the next 6 seconds or so, we should see... As on lap 28, Ben was only 0.458 of a second quicker. Looks like Johnny's picking the pace up. So we'll come back to that later. Alex Parkin is at the back of a train of few cars. Josh McKean, Luke Southall, Josh McKean, Grant Eckett and Alex Parkin.
Yeah, Southall's just leapfrogged us in the pits, so he must have taken a little splash and dash.
Yeah.
Leapfroggers.
Josh McKean will be due to stop any time now as well. As we've got what I believe to be 1, 2, 3, 5 cars yet to take their second stop. We've got Jimmy Mansey all out on his own in the lead, over a minute ahead of Jack Lancaster in second, who's a further 20 seconds ahead of Javier Marquez in third, but Jimmy's yet to take his second stop yet. As Gabriel Simoes and Josh McKean dive for the pits, promoting Luke Southall into 6th, Grant Eckett into 7th and Alex Parkin into 8th. overall, and now Alex Shahabi into 9th overall. Now leaving 3 cars that have yet to make a stop yet. Alex Parkin's still within 2 seconds of Grant Eckett. Go back to Johnny. Come around turn 1. We'll see if we can see the difference in lap time. So it looks like on the last lap, Ben set his fastest lap of the race so far with fastest lap of the race so far with a 2:06.660, and Johnny was 1.1 seconds slower with a 2:07.775. As we hear some funny noises coming from Johnny's car.
That was me. I forgot to mute my mic and then nearly rear-ended Burek in the Schumacher races.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
We've got Samo's making a late move, and then getting very close as he ran out wide round the hairpin to Johnny. But Johnny's got through unscathed this time. We've got Matt Wilmot less than a second behind Christopher Larson, and we don't want to see the comparison of those 2 lap times. They're not going to mean anything. So we'll bring that up. So they look to be lapping very similar pace, Christopher Larson and Matt Wilmot, even though we're in different classes. So we should see lap 32 pop up with Matt Wilmot 0.8 of a second quicker. Find our leader in Porsche Cup, who's in P6 overall, Luke Southall. Then got Alex Shahabi in 2nd in class, which is 9th overall. And then Josh McKean 3rd in the Porsche Cup class, which is 12th overall. Fairly spread out for the podium places in Porsche Cup. Oh no, sorry, not Josh McKean in 3rd. I believe it would be Christopher Larson in 3rd in Porsche Cup class. We've still got Alex Parkin in the lead of GT3 Am. We're on board with him coming through the final chicane up to the final corner. Got Martin Thorpe in the lead still of GT4 as Vonomir Ulrich dives for the pit lane. So we will watch him go into the pits and then find Johnny and see where he is. It looks like Johnny's coming through the kink up to the chicane, so that would put Johnny P2 in class with 21 minutes 50 seconds to go. Depending on how long Zvonimir's stop is. We'll jump back to Zvonimir to see if he's on pit exit. Is he going to get out ahead of Johnny? We'll jump over to Johnny, and Johnny has jumped ahead into P3 in GT4. Looks like Zvonimir is a couple of seconds behind, around 3.2. So we'll We'll come back to this shortly to compare lap times. Gap around 3.5 seconds. Got Matt Wilmot close in behind Christopher Larson. So you're going to look to make a move. Probably not here. The Porsche Cup cars are very quick in a straight line. As Matt Wilmot runs wide.
Has just picked up a stop-go penalty from 5th overall.
Yeah. We should see him. Yeah, he's just coming through the first couple of corners. So that will drop him down to the lower reaches of the top 10. And, missed that. Jimmy Mancy has made his second stop from the lead. Stayed in the lead by 26 seconds. So that should be him good to the end of the race. Very short splash and dash with less than 20 minutes to go. Got Ben Brown less than 2 seconds behind Zvonimir Bjorek. We'll bring up their lap time comparisons. They come across the line. So before the stops, you can see lap 30 that Ben was just over a second a lap quicker. There's no comparison really to make at the moment, as Zvonimir is not long out of the pits. So we'll just follow this round for a lap and see what the difference in lap time is now that they've both made their final stops. Ben will be hoping to make up the 4 seconds gap he's got to Johnny and challenge for that P2 again, which he did have till he had a small incident with Tim. You can see the flames lighting up from the exhaust as he's changing up through the gears. The German night sky. Gap down to less than a second now. Going up to the through the Schumacher S's. See Johnny Ashley exiting shot at the front there. So the gap for second, third and fourth in GT4 cars covered by around 3.5 seconds. Andrew Hearn's into the pits to take his stop-go penalty. So we're going to quickly switch to Ralph Avest, who's had a spin. Not sure where that is. I think it's coming up.
It was on Schumacher S's.
Yeah, it's just after the Schumacher S's, so it's coming down to the kink on the back straight and up to the chicane. So we'll jump back to Ben as he's very close as the GT3 car comes past. Oh, and he's gone a bit hot on the brakes. So that previous lap he was half a second quicker, but a bit of shenanigans. The GT3 car has dropped him back a bit now. The 1.2 back. That's helping Johnny Ashley out as Zvonimir Bjurek's dropped a few seconds behind as well. Got a battle developing between Gabriel Samos, Josh McKean and Matt Wilmot. Oh, this is very squirrely coming out of there. Samos will be hoping to get past McKean and then challenge Wilmot for second in GT3 AM. We look at GT3 Pro. Jimmy Mansey's appears to be pulling away from the rest of the pack. Now over 27 seconds in the lead. We'll jump back as Matt Wilmot's gone off there slightly and run wide into turn 1, which has allowed Josh McKean through. And now he's got Simoes less than a second behind. Or P2 in GT3 AM. So we'll have a look at their comparative lap times. Yeah, so Simoes has been catching at around a second a lap over the last 2 laps, and then the previous lap with 1.5 seconds. He's even closer now. He's less than half a second behind. It looks like they're coming up to lap some GT. No, me seeing things there. Saw some blue flags. Oh, Simoes has a big sideways moment. Drops back. Now 2.7 back. So we'll drop that. Josh McKean, less than 0.4 off Christian Larson for third in Porsche Cup. This looks to be an interesting battle. Ben Brown's second behind Zvonimir Bjorek for third in GT4. Got less than 15 minutes to go now. Bit squirrely there from Josh McKean coming through the first couple of corners. We need to keep it neat and tidy to try and put a move on Larson. Very close now. Going to go around the outside. He's now got the inside for the next corner. Is Larson going to try and brave it around the outside? It looks like they bump. Oh, and Larson is off. Is he completely spun out? Yeah, unfortunately. Kept it going. But got bumped on the outside, and as we know with these cars, they're no driver aids, so unfortunately couldn't hold on to it and spun out. Got damage, or is he just? I think he was doing the polite thing there and now in the car through. Just looks to be checking the car. No, looks to have quite a bit of damage. So we've missed Ben Brown getting past Zvonimir Bjorek for P3 in GT4. Sorry. So Ralph Best, who's currently P4 in GT3 AM, comes up to lap the pair of them. You're gonna, stay behind. That's a good choice. And Ben runs slightly wide to allow him through, which is allowed Zvonimir right onto the back of Ben. Schumacher S's are not the place to try and make a move, so they're going to follow each other through there. Is Zvonimir close enough? No, it looks to have dropped back slightly. And the hunt is on for Ben, seeing if he can make a 7-second gap to Johnny Ashley in the last 11 minutes or so. We could compare the last couple of laps, and with Ben being caught up behind Svonomir, the gap has actually extended 2.3 seconds. Saw Svonomir run wide behind. He's now dropped back from behind Ben. As well, looks like Thomas Stocks has had an off. Coming up to the final corner. Yeah, I think that must have been through the final chicane. Looks to have recovered quite well, so he's back on track in P6 in class.
Just like to point out, Mr. Mans has just lapped me and I'm 6th overall. That's some absolutely ridiculous and phenomenal pace from him.
It certainly is. I was just about to go and check on him. He's 36.7 seconds in the lead. Yeah, he's lapped everyone down to 6th, I believe, as Alex has just said. And now he's lapped everyone from 5th backwards as well, as he's going around Luke Southall, who's a fair few seconds behind Grant Eckett. So I don't see Jimmy lapping anyone else. So everyone from 5th downwards now isn't on the lead lap. Everyone, so 2nd, 3rd and 4th are the last cars on the lead lap. We'll check on Grant Eckett, who's 4th overall, 50 seconds off Dave Zalecki, who's in 3rd, who's 27 seconds off Jake Lancaster, looking to come through and lap some of the other GT3 runners and Porsche Cup cars. That's McKean and Wilmot. So that's 9th and 8th. Keane runs very wide there, finding it tough to get through. The cars in front are battling. Looks like Josh McKean and Wilmot had a little touch. Wilmot's going to just lift off there slightly and let Lancaster through. Alex is looking to try and get ahead of Luke Southall. The GT4 car not helping the matters there.
Yeah, I was clenching around the outside there. Oh, nerve-wracking.
Well, you made it through, so not like the last round. So it looks like Andrew Hearn's had an off. He's somewhere in the darkness. We can just about see his headlights. That looks like to be that. Yeah, I believe that is the final corner. Andrew's now down in 11th position. As Christopher Larson's in the pit again. Got Simo's close in behind Matt Wilmot. For second in GT3 AM. Get my numbers mixed up there. So Johnny Ashley's now ahead of Christopher Larson as Christopher Larson's in the pit. But Christopher Larson's making an unscheduled stop. Maybe dropping him down to the back of the pack. Let's go and find Ben Brown, who's chasing down Johnny Ashley. There we go. So
No!
I'll go live with Johnny Ashley, and oh no, what's happened here? We could hear Johnny going, no. And damage that badge, you've had to reset to the pit.
Yeah, shocking. It was black and on meatball flagging me.
That's unlucky, man.
Ah, damn it.
Do you know who was involved?
All me.
Oh, you just lost it on your own.
Yeah, it just got a little bit loose into the corner and just hit the grass and just absolutely fired across the track and into the metal barriers, and that was the end of that.
Ooh, ouch. With just over 5 minutes to go as well. Oh, that's a tough one.
It's all right. I'll have a word with the stewards and I'll have an appeal put in. And
I think that one will be dismissed pretty quickly. Probably quicker than Mercedes' appeal was tonight.
Well, we are approaching Michael Mass's fun time, so anything could happen.
absolutely,
Yeah.
just before the 5 minutes, so it wouldn't have counted anyway.
You never know, I may throw out a safety car at any second.
Do it.
We're watching Ben, who's now been promoted into second in class, with Zvonimir Burek less than a second behind, with Grant Eckett looking to lap him in a pretty quick fashion and stay out of the way, shall we say. As Alex Parkin is still very close behind Luke Southall for 5th overall, as we're coming up to the same gaggle of cars that we were before, and looks like he's going to make it up the inside and then round the outside. So that's 5th overall for Parkin.
This is horrible.
Oh, that is unbelievable. It's like watching the back straight on Le Mans 24 hours. Oh, as he taps Brown, and Brown taps him back. Oh dear. It's tough lapping GT4 cars when they're in their own battle.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go out on a limb and say you probably should respect blue flags a bit more than that. Oh, as they're both spun ahead. Oh no, and it's just a little tap. So hopefully not too much damage. And we've got a flash of the lights from Ben on Zvonimir. I think we'll switch back to that because Zvonimir should, and which he has done, give the place back, which is very good from Zvonimir there. He's hit Brown and then given the place back. Go back in there. We'll check. Doesn't look too much damage from a broadcast point of view, Alex. And you're still in the lead of the class, so
yeah, I thought I'd try and see if I could make a few positions up at the last few minutes, but
Matt Wilmot's had an off, which is putting behind Gabriel Simoes, still in 3rd in class, but they dropped down 1 position and promoted Simoes to 2nd in class, the GT3 AM. We'll go back and check on Jimmy Mancy. We'll have a look at him driving the car. There's appear to be a lot going on for him. He's put out another second or so on Jack Lancaster. Burek is still within a second of Ben Brown for 2nd in GT4, which with 1:45, as looks like Tim Brown's had another off, and he's reversing. He's got going again. Bonnet looks a bit loose. So we've seen Johnny's putting in the chat in the in the stream chat. There's Johnny still in the pit. We've got Christopher in the pit. Burek's now dropping back from the back of Ben Brown. Mose is 5 seconds ahead of Wilmot. 2 and 3 in GT3 AM. Luke Southall's comfortable in the lead of the Porsche Cup. 5 laps, it appears, down on the cars ahead. So the top 4 are in a league of their own, really. Jimmy Mancy, Jake Lancaster, Dave Selecki and Grant Eckett. Top 4 in GT3 Pro and the top 4 overall. As looks like Burek and Hearn have had it coming together, maybe. Oh no, what are you doing there, Burek? You can't be reversing onto the racing line like that. Oh, it nearly takes out Mose as well as he spun round. I'm not sure who he hit there. So we're going to try a 30-second instant replay there. Ooh, still didn't pick it out, but it looked like it was a Porsche car.
It looks like Mose, doesn't it? It's
Yeah. Although I thought Mose went past after. Oh no, it was Aston Martin went out past afterwards. So yeah, it must have been Mose that he's hit. We're coming out of replay now. So yeah, Zvonimir is now over 20 seconds off Ben Brown. So that's the end of that battle. Well,
everything's happened in the last 6 minutes in GT4.
Yeah, it's all kicked off.
Yeah, fatigue creeping in, maybe.
Yeah.
Just being a clumsy twat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to give it benefit of doubt, but...
And then as we missed that, we've got Jimmy Mancy's crossed the line to win the race. So currently Lancaster in. So yeah, Grant Eckett's crossed the line as now. So do some donuts. We've got only got Lancaster and Selecki on the lead lap in overall. That's Jimmy Mancy, Jack Lancaster, and Dave Selecki is the podium in GT3 Pro. We'll find Alex Parkin's finished, so you've got Alex Parkin is the winner of GT3 AM, and Mose and Wilmot are battling to the line, and it looks like Mose is just going to take. Yeah, he's just taken ahead of Matt Wilmot, second in class. Then Martin Thorpe is leading in GT4. Coming up the Porsche curves. Ben Brown's already finished. Burek is already finished, so they round out the podium places in GT4. So if I now check on my other screen, if I look at, so that's Southall. Looks like he's won the Porsche Cup overall for the championship, and Dave Selecki has won GT3 Pro championship this season.
Remember, it's double points, so has he?
Yes, because he's already finished ahead of Marquez.
That's good then. Cool.
Where did Marquez finish? Oh, I've got to find him now.
I think he retired with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not even on there. So yeah, he was 5 points ahead and double points. And just to double check in Porsche Cup, Southall was only 9 points behind. We'll switch to the track pan. That's when everyone's going back to the pits. So Shahabi finished 1 place behind Southall. So Shahabi may have won the Porsche Cup. We'll wait to find out.
I better go and update the standings. Thanks, Dan. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, no problem at all. Don't think we're going to. I don't think. Well, we'll see if anyone's around for any of the winners want to pop in for a chat. Just put that in Discord. Yeah, to drop into the comms pod. So we'll see if we can get a word from Jimmy. We've already got Alex in chat, so we can speak to Alex first. So congratulations on the class win tonight.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
You'd already got the championship sewn up before this race, so it's just seemed like you just had a bit of fun out there tonight.
I won the first couple of races, and I've had a couple of sloppy ones since then, so it's nice to get a good 90 minutes under my belt. And yeah, only one incident towards the end when 2 cars crashed right in front of me, but
Yeah,
nice hour and a half, really.
Yeah, we managed to catch that on stream, so luckily it didn't hold you up too much, but you had a big enough gap behind for it to not affect you.
Yeah, fortunately we're a good time of the race, I guess.
Yeah, the best time to happen, and yeah, it's good result for you to round out the season. Are you signed up for the World Series?
Yeah, I suspect from the sandbagging comments here my way I'll not be an am, but
yeah, it might be bumped up to silver because there's 3 classes.
Yeah, I've missed scrambling for points, so it'll be interesting to do that again.
Yeah, thanks for chatting to us tonight.
Cheers, man.
Congratulations on the win. So we'll see. Jimmy's joined us in the chat. So congratulations on the win. Looked like you were in a class of your own tonight.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I was unexpected, to be fair, because obviously with Lancaster, I had a really close race last week. If anything, he was the faster car.
Yeah.
I just managed to keep him behind due to solder things, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was expecting it to be quite close tonight. Even last week in the qualifying, I think I was on pole by sort of 0.3, but that meant nothing come the race. So yeah, a bit surprised, but after sort of 5 or 6 laps, saw that I'd opened up a gap and the pace was good. So it's just a case really then of just keeping my head through the chicane at the end and just making sure I hit my braking points.
Yeah, from what we saw, it didn't look like you had too much issue with traffic. Was that the case?
No, traffic was really good. It fell quite nicely in those that, there was a couple that I was quite patient with. I'm fortunate, I guess, to have the gap that I did, that I didn't need to force a move on anyone or do anything silly. So, no, it was real good. And the guys under the Blues and the GT4s and the Cup cars, they respected it. So, yeah, can only say thanks to them for that as well.
Yeah, it's a great way to round out the season for you.
3 wins in a row. So all looking good, I guess, for the series next year.
Yeah, for the World Series, the GT3 World Series. That will be an interesting series. I'll be streaming and commentating on that as well.
Oh, excellent. Oh, I listened in a little bit, obviously, during practice and the start of qualifying tonight, and it sounds like you got it nailed. So, yeah, well done.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on your win.
Yeah, thanks.
So we'll go over to Martin Thorpe. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you've won every GT4 race this series. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. I was lucky again today. It was a bit of a boring race, but it was all at the start.
Yeah.
I was just behind Ben, and I think it was McKean in the Porsche got turned, and I just went towards the grass, and Ben had a car in front of him that couldn't get anywhere, and I managed to duck around everyone into the lead, didn't get any damage as well, which is good, and just controlled the pace a bit there. Wondered where Ben pitted early, and I sort of had half an eye on what his pace was, but managed to come through in the end, which is good.
Yeah, it was. Although you could say it was a boring race, but sometimes they're the best races to have because you can just stay clean and just cruise home to a win.
Oh yeah, no, I tried to keep it clean, keep an eye on where the GT3s were coming through. That's the end of the day in this series. That's been the secret, really. Just keep it clean, keep out of the trouble,
Yeah,
and before you realise it, you got a good result.
yeah, you can. Sometimes when you're in the GT4s, you can be having a battle with another GT4, and then a GT3 or a Porsche Cup will be trying to come through, and then you'll have some kind of incident, and it can ruin your race. Or you can do a Johnny Ashley and just bin it on your own.
So, I wondered what happened because I was watching him, and he had decent pace tonight in that Ginetta.
Yeah,
At the beginning, he was going with me at the beginning, and then I saw him, he just disappeared. So shame for him.
yeah. I think he had a small. He pitted early, and then towards the end, spun it all on his own and put it in the barrier.
Oh, Johnny.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it was. I think he was running. Yeah, he was running second behind you, which would have been his best finish, and it was just over 5 minutes to go when he binned it. So if he can get that final 5 minutes nailed, he should be on for a good result at some point.
He should have voted for a 60-minute race.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your win and a
Thank you.
clean sweep in the series.
Thank you very much.
So that's been the 90 minutes of Nurburgring in the multi-class European Super Series. So thanks everyone for watching and good night.